Become Legend is a tabletop role-playing game that may include elements of violence, substance abuse, mental illness, emotional trauma, and may include other mature content or themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, summoners, and welcome to the next episode of Become Legend. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Really quick, we have a hype train on the go right now, which is fantastic. We need to try and get it to the end of level 5 for the benefit of one of our characters in particular, more than likely. You still have about 5 minutes until we get there. So thank you so much for giving those summoner spells. Julian giving one to Arch, Candle giving one to Arch, Deej giving one to Arch, and giving one to Arch. I'm going to load those up right now. Mindy giving one to Reggie. I mean, Reggie's not falling off a building, but sure. That's cool. And then Warrior, that fantastic human being, giving one to all of you, which you probably need right about now. So we are going to go like that. We have unlocked first ability. We have unlocked our second ability. And we have unlocked our third ability for all the summoners, or all the champions, my apologies. So, wow, we are already 17% away from finishing off that level 5 hype train. That will definitely help the champions, but as we see if all of you can get there, yes, it's extremely fast. Jammy giving another one to Arch. Why is everybody pulling for Arch? All of a sudden, I'm so confused. I don't understand it. It seems really weird for me. Yeah, and don't forget that not only will something cool happen at the start of the session if we reach that level 5 hype train, but none of our champions currently have their ultimate abilities, which, given what they might be getting into, could possibly be something very useful coming up here in the near future, which I will not really get into right now. But anyway, as we continue on the last match of Become Legend, the group picked back up at the breakfast table after Casker had explained the situation and what he wanted all of you to do. After a brief conversation with them, you were left alone as Casker had an individual come in and say that they had whisper in their ear, and Casker excused himself, saying to make his house your house which was quite literal for one individual in the group, and then excused himself. After he left, Niche decided to check out the little beacon box that Casker had given them, saying that once they had found an incapacitated Jinx, that they should press the button, as it were, and help would be on the way to let them clear their names. Thankfully, Niche, thanks to an item of her own creation, a glove, was able to investigate the box a little bit and found in it a locked compartment inside, hidden among all of the electronics, that was listed as a she wasn't able to quite understand what it was, but it did have a very interesting logo on it, that being the logo of somebody that most of the group, it discovered, had come into contact with before, by the name of Singed. After having a conversation about Singed, Nemo having a little bit more issue, it would appear, with how things had gone in their past, and everybody else having somewhat intimate knowledge, it turns out that perhaps this Casker individual is playing a few different sides of the table and is bringing the group together in a way that they had not seen before. After discovering this, Niche also investigated the gun that they had picked up off of the enforcer down in the sewers that had almost taken Casker's life, finding out that it was more of a single-use item charged with some type of hex-tech gadgetry, though she wasn't able to really understand the process by which it is recharged. She was able to find out that it could be recharged, and it was given back to Nemo to hold on for a while. After a little bit more conversation, Arch and Io had another conversation regarding the individual that seems to be coming out of Arch every once in a while. Tarot card reading was done again, and this time it would appear as if Io and Arch were transported into Arch's psyche, where Io met Sosin, and Arch was able to have a brief reprieve and a conversation with his long-lost love, though it was fleeting and quick. Snapping back, Arch now remembering what happens sometimes when Sosin takes over his body. Io, unfortunately, due to the magic and the circumstance of the arcane, she doesn't quite understand, forgetting the conversation even happened. Nemo searched for food in the kitchen and was able to find some delicious slop pops, which Arch and Io tried. Arch having a bit of an easier time digesting them than Io did. And then the group kind of split off to do their own things while they waited for night to come and the ability to make their way back to Zon and their mission. Nemo going up to the top and checking out a possible path for them to take, and Io disappearing off on her own to review a file that she had found in Reggie's or Casker's attic, depending on how you want to look at it, labeled Callisto. After reading the folder and finding out that this individual had some different missions that all seemed to be classified, the final one, a bridge mission where they were sent to take out an individual, citing their current status as missing in action. Io then went to talk to Reggie about these papers. Reggie remembering a possible function of a sleeper cell group that was sent out to eliminate threats to Piltover, though that happened close to the time that Reginald abdicated his spot on the council. After a little bit more conversation, the group set out at sunset to make their way back to Zon. navigating through the residential district and up onto the high towers of the main parts of Piltover proper. They navigated safely for a little bit, but unfortunately, jumping from one rooftop to the next, there was a complication as Archibald was unable to make the jump, and Io close at hand. As they began to slip, Io was able to grasp on thanks to the help of Niche and Nemo, but Archie was unable to. And that is where our next match will begin, on the top of this roof. And luckily, we have hit our level 5 our level 5 hype train. So thank you so much, James, for giving myself another 5 summoner points.
What?
Sorry, summoner spells.
Traitor.
Because James is a true believer. That's why. And the Jamer X, thank you so much for giving 3 more summoner spells to Io. Make sure you're getting those summoner spells in there. The group will need them. And because we also completed a level 5 hype trade, everybody in the group has their ultimate abilities now. So you all have your abilities. We have a lot of summoner spells now. Let's dive into the next match of Become Legend. Arch, as you are grasping and trying to reach and jump and hold on to any part that you can, Io being able to scramble up above you and grabbing onto Nemo's tail, you make one last desperate attempt to reach up and grab onto Io's foot as you have now fallen past her. You catch the edge of her dress and it begins to slip out slowly, and you begin to fall. Niche. It is at this point that you are struggling, running up, trying to hold on to Nemo, trying to reach down and grab Io, and you see Arch fall. And as he begins to fall backwards, hands extended, everything stops. Everything except for you. You see Nemo getting ready to dive over the edge, their feet off the ground in a diving motion, frozen. You see Reginald rushing from your side towards the group to try and help out, stopping mid-step. You see Arch beginning to fall, billowing Mary Nick's coat in the wind, or Nick's Mary, I can never remember. They're so fancy. Freeze as it flaps with the dissension of them following. Io grabbing onto Nemo's tail and stops, and you see out of the corner of your eye a flash of white. Out of the corner of your other eye, a dark shadow move past. What is Niche doing right now?
Niche is trying to just white knuckle into the bodies of whoever she's grasping onto, kind of losing track of the moment and trying to belly up against the edge of this building and pull, and then that flash. Because it doesn't seem real. It seems like another thing she's seeing in a dream or imagining, and I don't think she realizes that time has stopped for everyone but her. Now is not the time to be seeing things.
So as you are grasping onto this, you look over the edge again, seeing these flashes of white and dark pass you, and looking just below where Arch is falling, you see a dark face with purplish blue slitted lupine style eyes staring up at you in this grin of darkness except for these white fangs. And you hear and from your side you catch a flash of white, and you look over and see a thin, small, even shorter than Nemo figure. White fur covers their entire body. A tuft of long white hair flows down the back, and they have this purplish white mask on, the slits of eyes just beaming with light, and they're holding a bow. They look in trouble, you hear come from the white one, and down below where you saw the dark one. Should we help? What would Niche like to do next?
If there's anything you can do to help, I'm not going to say no, but you're making me think I'm the one who's falling and that maybe I've already hit the ground.
They are interesting, like you had said. Yes, they have interesting power. And as you kind of look to reorientate on the white figure, you find it gone. And you look to your side, and over your shoulder is this wolf-like face, the dark face with the gnashing teeth. And you look down in front of you, and the whitish furred figure is standing on the ledge now, kind of right beside where Nemo and the rest of the group is kind of congregated, trying to save. You have skills, we can see. Yes, they're similar to our own. Would you like us to save that soul down there? Save him, we can.
Yes, if anything can come of whatever this is, then yes, save him. If any one of us deserves to be saved, it's Arch.
She acts quickly, possibly too quick. The scales must remain balanced. Teetering they are. And as you kind of peer over the edge again to see what this individual, the white individual, is looking down on, you look over and no longer see Arch. Their frozen visage seemingly snatched from the landscape below. And as you turn around, you see the wolf's head figure kind of swirling around Arch now behind you on top of the building. We can do it. But should we, is the question. And as you kind of reorientate yourself and look down, now the white furred figure is at your side, kind of grasping at your hand and looking up at you, bow in the other hand. We can do this, but it comes at cost.
I don't know. I don't have much to give, but as a if you know what I do, then you know I'm a conduit, and I know a little something about balance. What do you want?
Yes, balance. All things should be. We will come later. All you have to do is say yes.
Do I get to know to what? Or just yes to now?
All will be revealed. It's not time yet.
Save Arch, and I'll take whatever comes.
And with that, you see the lamb figure let go of your hand and pull up their bow, shooting it towards Arch. And the wolf catches it in its teeth. Very well. We will come when it is time. And all at once, motion starts to happen again. Nemo starts to dive over the edge. Io scrambling up, trying to reach for you. We bring everybody back. The movement is chaotic. I'm going to get Nemo to make a dexterity saving throw. I'm going to get Io to make a strength saving throw.
Dexterity 26.
26. Io?
Well, that's a 7. Could I use my
Let's see, how many points do I have?
And Io still has advantage
Oh,
from
Io
the
does have-
spell that Niche cast previously. So
That's a 13.
A 13. So how were you? What were you using? Sorry.
Yes, I was going to use 2 of my summoner spells.
2 of your summoner spells to make it a 15.
Just to make it a...
Okay, so Nemo dives over the edge and is able to grab your hand, Io, and then link his feet on the edge. Reggie, I believe at the end you were rushing over to try and provide some assistance. So I will give Reggie and Niche both acrobatics checks for me to see if you can grab onto Nemo's feet.
19.
Okay.
18.
18. So luckily you were able to grab Nemo's feet and with some struggle pull the rest of you up. Now, Arch, you were just falling and all of a sudden you are standing on the roof behind and you look over and see Nemo and Io being pulled up and over by Reggie and Niche.
As I kind of like awaken on like standing on the roof, I'm still going, ah, what is happening?
Niche pulls away from Nemo the moment he's kind of grabbed by Reggie and on the rooftop, and shaking like a leaf, they spin and go over to Arch, and just forgetting themselves, just grip a hand into his arm. Oh my gosh, that was real. You're here. We're safe.
What just happened? I mean, how am I even here?
I really don't know totally, but it was real, and you're in one piece, and you're... Oh, you feel yourself all together, one piece?
I grab Niche and give Niche a huge hug. It's like, I don't know what you did, but I owe you. I owe you big time. And just pull back. I'm good. Everything. How's my coat? Okay, it's good. It's good. Okay, yep. Everything's there.
Everything is most certainly there.
We should probably get going.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Speaking of Io, can you guys pull?
Oh, Io, yes. Running over there to assist in any way.
Like, I'm strong, but not that. Come on, thank you. Yeah, no, pull. Okay, come on. And watch the tail. Okay.
Sorry.
so it's
What the
at
hell?
It's so fuzzy.
You were, what the, no. What? Did your blue guy just like zip you? Okay.
I don't think that was Susan this time. I'm just really confused as to exactly what happened, but I know we still got to get going, right? I mean, we could talk about it later maybe, but I think we should run.
it's at this point from down on the street you hear, "Yeah, they were up there, moving across the central plaza to the next building. Quick, get men up there now."
Yeah, Nemo, come on. Let's
Corner to corner.
got it.
Wait, Arch, we're not doing this again. And kind of reaching out to grip at him again, Niche will cast the same spell that gives him advantage on dexterity checks.
Normally I do
Is
pretty
that
good
a-
on those things.
Is that a concentration spell?
It is not.
It is not. Okay,
Oh.
interesting. So as you run, Nemo, you know that you have to make it across 3 more buildings and then down to get to the bridge. So I'm just going to get one group acrobatics check or athletics check, because we don't need to be rolling the same checks over and over again. Arch, starting with you.
Oh, all right. We will have for this time a plus advantage though. Let's see. So that's gonna be a 16.
Okay. Reggie.
I'm going to use one summoner spell to make it a 15.
Perfect. Speaking of which, thank you so much, Glitterbug Ray Ray, for giving another summoner spell to Nemo. And James, again, thank you for the 5 at the start of this session and the 5 at the end of last session for me, as I was able to use 7 of them to make sure that the group got spotted by my enforcers. Io, what was your acrobatics or athletics check?
I am going to use my face ability to switch my dexterity and charisma.
Okay.
And so that would make it a 15.
Niche?
10.
10. Nemo?
Nat 20 for a 27.
Oh my gosh. Put your
Yes.
20s in the chat. Okay, so thankfully that natural 20 will offset the 10 that Niche rolled. Still a little bit shaken up. Niche, you do your best to keep up with the group, faltering a little bit, but no hitting the sides or anything like that, and you're all able to make it to the last building overlooking the bridge. It's at this point that you see in the distance, actually Nemo and Io would be the only two. You start to see floating spotlights coming on the way you were coming. If either of you would like to make an actual perception check to see what is happening, you may do so.
Ooh, yeah. Okay,
Yes.
cool. Not nearly as good.
Io,
Oh, that's a 21.
21. Nemo?
Nice.
That's a 16, which is the same as my passive.
So Io, you would see these spotlights are connected to these miniature airship-like contraptions. They're much smaller than the airships that travel through the hex gates, and they have, propellers on the sides, these big blue gold-banded balloons, and perched atop them appear to be 2 to 3 enforcers each, and you see 3 of them now scanning the top of the buildings that you had just jumped over, trying to possibly locate the 5 of you as you are making your way to the bridge.
We are extra not alone, and there are airships.
The lights don't seem to be on us yet, so keep running, huh?
Okay, get to the next building. I have an idea. I start putting the suppressor on my rifle as I'm running.
Okay. So as you're running, the bridge, the main columns of the bridge are across the street from this last building that you're on. There appears upon a quick glance to be a exit from the roof access, as well as a fire escape on the north side and the eastern side. So you can either go through the building and down, not really knowing what's in the building, or try your luck climbing down the north or eastern sides. It just depends on which way you think will be the safest route down.
You guys, down the stairs. No more climbing.
I am totally okay with that.
And I'm going to turn and aim for one of the spotlights.
As
Okay.
he does that, I'll check the door to see if it's open for us to be able to go down.
Door is locked. Nemo, go ahead and take your shot.
Okay. With a +7, that'll be a 21.
So you're just aiming at one of the spotlights, you said?
Just at one of the
Sure.
spotlights
Okay, roll
with my
damage, please.
suppressor on.
Yep.
Okay. So that would be an 8 for an 8.
8 for an 8. So
Yeah.
as you let off this, the quiet shot ringing out, still making some noise on the rooftop, but definitely not as much had you not put the suppressor on, and you see one of the spotlights shatter and blink out of existence.
Down, 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 down.
Arch, what are you doing about the door?
Door's locked, so I'll look back and maybe I don't know if this is gonna be super loud, but I'm not that smart. So I'm gonna look back and kind of time the shot to when I see the glass shatter. I want to use one of my spells here or abilities here and do the there is no spoon and punch the crud out of that door.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll your damage. And
That's
then
gonna
double it.
be- Yeah.
Mindy, thank you so much for
Ooh,
the
Mindy.
5 gifted subs.
That is going to be a 20 damage.
20 damage. So as this door, obviously, like, it's just roof access. It's not some secure compound building. And you punch the door and your arm goes right through it. So you're kind of standing there with your arm stuck through the middle of this door.
And then I'll try and can I turn my hand to see if I could grab the handle and then twist the handle open from the other side or something?
Yeah, you kind of feel around and you find the deadbolt latch and unclick it and open the door. The rest of you, let me know what you're doing, but I'm going to just mention really quickly, because I forgot to mention at the start of the episode, but there is a new feature. Thank you, Mindy, thank you to the summoners for putting the link in there. You can gift 5 subs if you want, and the wonderful Io will do a tarot card reading for you. You can gift 5 subs and ask a single question, and Io will do a pull from her deck and give you an answer for your question based off the reading. And of course, the wonderful Miss Mindykins is our first person that is going to get a card reading. So you can DM me on Discord. By the way, check out the FreeForge Discord if you haven't, because that's where you can gain access to DM me if you decide to go this route and give 5 subs to get a card reading. And Mindy can DM me her question, and we'll see what kind of card readings Io gives next week on Become Legend. So what is it everyone is doing? Arch, you managed to get the door open and pull your arm through.
I'll kind of hold the door open as everyone goes through.
Okay. Marching order is going to be
last.
Actually, instead of holding the door open, I'll just get it open. I'll go first.
Okay. So Arch, followed closely by
second, Niche.
Niche, then Reggie,
I'll go third.
then Io, then Nemo. Nemo, you see the spotlights on the 2 remaining spotlights on the other 2 ships are just a building over. Are you going to head down, or are you going to take another shot before you go?
I'm going to take another shot at the second one.
Sure, go for it.
And that's a nat 20.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to spend any points. I'm just going to double the damage on that.
Yeah.
That'll be 6, 12.
12. Again, and then the shattering of the glass. This time a lot closer, and you can start to hear the yelling voices of, "What is that? We're under fire! Take evasive maneuvers, quick!" as you disappear down into the stairwell, closing the door behind you. Do you close the door behind you, or do you leave it open?
100% do the close the door behind me and look through the hole.
And look through the hole. So the remaining spotlight you see kind of move erratically off, and then now you see 2 of the airships kind of circling around the eastern side of the building. And then the third one is coming up from the south, and the spotlight is shining on the rooftop that you all just vacated.
Cool.
So as you all are running down this staired corridor, it goes all the way to the bottom, and you come out into this open lobby that seems to be some type of high-end clothing store. Arch, as you kind of rush into the main part of it, you see a big sign on the side that says Mary Nix. And then looking in the other direction, you see a Julian sign for the Julian clothing wear line. And it is mostly dark, with the exception of a little the normal lights that you would see on when a store is closed but still wants to display its wares, and a single individual standing in the middle of the shop with a mop bucket by their side, and they're just kind of whistling. And as you open the door, they look up and they're like, what the hell? What are you doing? Is there anything? I will give Arch Reggie, or sorry, Arch, you can all take one reaction really quick, with the exception of Nemo, who hung back to look through the hole in the door. Is there anything anybody would like to do right away?
So, just so I can see the picture in my head, and as I see the Mary Nix on one side and the Julian on the other side, are there like actual like mannequins with the clothing's out, or are they like behind lock? Okay, sweet. I'm swiping either a Mary Nix or Julian Bolo hat if there happens to be one like lying around. My reaction is just like looking for one of those.
Make
hats.
an investigation check for your reaction, I guess.
Yes.
Hashtag priorities, y'all. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the match, Gabe James Games. So good to see you. Thank you for popping in. First time chatter in the Forge.
Welcome.
Reggie, Io, and Niche, is there anything you were doing?
I was immediately pulling a card.
Okay. Roll percentiles for me, Io. And Niche.
Right.
Niche looks at the man with a mop, her body still shaking. We were never here.
And Reggie?
We were never here.
Okay. Arch, what was your investigation check?
So, believe it or not, unlike last week, I rolled a natural 20 on the investigation check.
Of course, you rolled a natural 20 on that. Yeah, sure.
I do have a -1 to those particular checks. So I think I'm going to use one of my first level special to get that +1 back to get the 20.
Okay, sounds good. Using your first ability. Sorry, I don't have the name list pulled up right now. What was it called again?
Oh, that one is also not pulled up right now. Let me pull it up. I'll tell you exactly what it is here. Just give me.
And Io, what were the percentiles that you rolled?
I rolled a 4 on percentile.
A 4.
Is that a card you've seen before?
It is a card we've seen before. So as you pull your deck out really quickly and whip one of the cards out, you pull out the eye.
Io's eyes turn green and a wisp of electric like light goes from her eyes to the person standing out there, and she says, "Good evening. We were never here." And I will cast the spell Charm.
Yeah, that's a DC what? Charisma save, I believe?
Yes, a DC 15.
They rolled a 15, -2, which brings them to a 13. So they kind of go from this like physical hostile to their face softening. "Oh, you were never here." And just kind of dips their head again and goes back to whistling and mopping the floor. Meanwhile, Arch, you immediately are drawn to the Julian side. The Mary Nix, though a very nice brand and worth far more than what you can typically afford, unless you're on a hot streak with your gambling, the Julian brand is something you never thought in your wildest dreams you would be able to ever get your hands on, and you find against the wall on these very nice polished shelves a selection of hats. What does the hat that Arch grabs look like?
Kind of like a bolo hat, like real, classical, like, I don't know, 20s kind of look, just giving that old school mobster kind of vibe.
Okay. And then you do see a door at the far end. What is it? And Nemo, you just step into the room as this individual with the mop. You instantly raising your gun, and then you see these flashes of arcane energy come from Io, and she says, "We were never here." And the person goes, "Oh yeah, you were never here," and just starts mopping the floor again.
The hell?
They'll be fine. Don't worry about them.
Okay. 2 lights down, 1 light still up. He's coming around from the east. We can get out and head not east.
So as you go, obviously the door is locked. Are you guys making haste, or are you moving sneakily? What is the plan here?
I'm always going to move sneaky, and if the door's locked, I'm going to try and unlock it.
Okay. So you have a bit more speed than everybody else in the group, I believe. So you're able to creep up to the door a little bit quicker than everybody, especially Arch, who is distracted by the Julian collection on the far wall. And of course, yes, the door is locked and is also gated.
Oh.
So
okay.
as you go to work on the padlock for the gate, go ahead and give me your sleight of hand check.
That's 12 plus 7 for a 19.
Okay. I'm going to...
I'm assuming the door can just be unlocked from the inside, but the gate's the problem.
The gate has a very solid padlock, and I'm going to use 2 of my summoner spells, and you work at the lock and are trying to pick it and are unable to get that last tumbler to go. As I use some summoner spells to raise the DC, because why not? I had 8 of them. Thanks again, James. Make sure you're doing the 300 bits to give the champions or the summoner myself those summoner spells so that we can add to our rolls.
If I burn my 2, I hit
Then
the
you
DC.
succeed. Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, then we're going to
I'll
totally
let you do it.
that. I hate these tilt-over locks, these stupid
As you
sons
get
of-
to the end, finally it clicks, and you're able to pull the padlock off.
Yeah, not a problem. Hey, by the way, Arch, can you grab me a new jack? I'm kidding. Can we go?
Oh, I mean, look at the Julian I
No,
just got. This is absolutely... Okay.
So you're able to undo the deadbolt on the other door, and all of you slip out into the street. I will get everybody to make a stealth check for me as you are exiting the building, as I assume you're trying to be quiet.
I am burning my 2nd level ability, Sneaky, turning my fur all black and gaining advantage on stealth checks.
The abilities,
Because,
again,
wow,
if
I
you can
needed
start
that.
hype trains, gives the players their abilities. We're pretty full up right now, but they're heading into some hairy stuff over the next couple episodes, so... So, Arch.
First, my first level ability was Ghostly Intuition. And now I rolled pretty crappy, so I'm going to use 3 summoners points to get me to 12.
Okay.
That's good enough.
Reggie?
I'm gonna use both of my summoner spells to get me to a 10.
Okay. Io?
A 16.
16. And Niche?
Niche will empower themselves, drawing energy to almost cloak themselves in shadow, using their 2nd ability, Empower, and giving them a total of a 17.
Okay, and Nemo?
24.
So Nemo dips out of the door and scurries across the street into the shadows of the tall walls that line the riverbank near the entrance of the bridge. The rest of you kind of pouring out behind, Niche being able to stay low to the ground. Arch, unfortunately, kind of admiring their new hat and trying to show it off to Reggie a little bit too much, and Io a little still fascinated with the fact that this person just kind of listened to them and is like standing at the door looking back at this individual that seems to just be, again, mopping the floor and not paying any attention to them. And you were all able to make it to the bridge. Looking across, you do see about middle way down the bridge where the gates are that admit entrance and exit between Zon and Piltover. There appears to be a guard force of about 5 that are standing watch at the door right now, or standing watch at the gate, but they're all facing you but looking up. As you kind of turn around and you can see the 3 miniature airships are still kind of flying around the building that you just exited. The spotlight's still trained on the roof, and one of them appears to be landing on the top of the building as you make your exit out.
As I see the guards, I'm gonna reach into my pocket and pull out brass knuckles, load those up real quick, and I'm gonna do the awesome Henry Cavill load the guns.
Niche, it's time for holes.
I was hoping it wouldn't be, but yes, I think you're right.
Rush them. Everybody just rush them.
Right. Let's do it.
Go.
Okay.
Is there a
Yeah.
captain?
Make a perception check for me.
Okay. Come on. Shit. 16 again?
So there appears to be 4 individuals that are in the regular cloth style fabric with no hats, just like the rudimentary helmets that don't cover the face that are on, and 1 armored individual that has is wearing like the full metallic blue armor, has their face mask on for some reason, and a more ornate helmet style that has a guard that kind of comes across their face. And as the 4 of you, because I assume Nemo is hanging back, as the 4 of you begin rushing, 2 the armored guard and 1 of the cloth enforcers who are staring up look down and are kind of like peering down the bridge towards you. The other 3 still looking up, trying to like kind of talking to each other and pointing out. What is it you would like to do?
I never took my suppressor off.
You
Nice.
sure didn't.
Ultimate ability, 1 shot, 1 kill on the armored one.
Okay, perfect. So using your ultimate ability, go ahead and roll, start compiling your damage. Thank you so much for getting us that level 5 hype train at the start of the session to unlock their ultimate abilities and every other ability, which has already come in handy so far. And thank you, Glitterbug Ray Ray, for giving another summoner spell to Nemo and another one to Reggie. What is your damage on 1 shot, 1 kill, and how does it look as you fire off this devastating round?
Again, the world slows down for Nemo, and he just starts talking to himself. Okay, we got this. Okay, we got this. And just slowly presses the trigger. And the roll was 43 points of damage. And if that drops him, I am using Magic Bullet to hit a second one.
As this silent shot rings out, it's a larger caliber bullet infused with a little bit extra. So even with the suppressor, it still makes quite a loud shot sound. And you see the guarded individual or the armored individual that was kind of looking down and was like beginning to point, their arm just drop. And then they drop to their knees and fall forward. The other guards now, like, looking around, pulling out firearms and trying to locate the rest of you. So I will let Arch, Reggie, Io, and Niche take your turn before they go, because they didn't roll quite as high on their perception checks. And Nemo, you can take your additional shot.
Okay.
We'll just continue with our alphabetical order, or unless somebody wants to jump in and say if they have a plan right away.
Oh, Io is going to use their ultimate, their mass
Okay.
charm.
So as Nemo is starting to reload, Io rushes up, getting just within range, and tell us what that ultimate ability looks like. Thank you for the level 5 hype train again, all you summoners.
Io does have to be in sight, so they will be going straight towards them and just enough in sight as this bright, vivid electric green arcane energy comes from their fingertips, and they are stunned and see this beautiful image, whether it be their loved one or the sign. It is both beautiful and terrifying. It could be possibly even the concept of death itself. She says, "Hello, friends. It's wonderful to see you." And they must make a DC 18 charisma save.
18. Oh man.
Yeah, you know, those good old low-level guards, they're real good at... Oh my gosh, one of them I rolled a natural 18 for the first one. -1, so 17, unfortunately. And yeah, not even close on any of the others. So as Nemo starts to ready their second shot, you all go rushing in. You see this burst of arcane energy come out, and all 4 of the remaining guards that were kind of looking around, much like in the street the first night you met Io, they're going to move and then they just stop. Like the mannequins in the clothing store that you just left, standing perfectly still.
Can I get up to the one that's still moving? And
No, the 5th one died or dropped already.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
The armored one that Nemo shot with their ultimate.
I'd like to position myself where I'm as close to all of them as possible.
Okay.
Kind of like in the middle of a circle or whatnot, just so they're all around. And as I just kind of like walk up and I'm like, okay, and he's just like dodging as they're not like moving. And then he will go up to one and just kind of like poke him and then punch him with the brass knuckles. That's gonna be an 18 to hit.
Okay, that'll you rolled that with advantage because they're stunned.
Let's see if we get another crit. Nope, an 18 to hit.
Okay, sounds good. That will hit.
All right, damage on that one is 10 points of damage for that one. And since I made a successful hit, I would like to go ahead and use my third ability, Finish Them. And which will bump me up to where I can use a special move called Spinning Attack. So basically, as I punch him once as Arch, the eyes kind of glow blue again. You see kind of like the muscles tension if you were looking close enough. He kind of shifts his weight down, twists his foot off to the side to get a better balance to be able to do this wicked spinning kick. And as he kicks around, you see this like blue energy emanating from his foot, and it hits everyone that's within 10 feet of me.
Okay, so that'll give you one extra guard, as they were kind of spaced out. It is a fairly wide bridge, so.
Alrighty. And so those ones will take. Oh, let me see if I hit. So that's a dirty 20 to hit that one.
Okay.
And that one is gonna be for damage. That one's 9 on that one.
Okay. So they will make their. Okay, they won't make their saves. That one gets 2 because. Okay. Natural 20 -1 is a 19. So, as you unleash this flurry of attack, you hit one, and then do this spinning kick, hitting both of them again, and one of them kind of snaps out and like immediately spits a mouthful of blood, and looks at the rest of their guard force, and then is like, "You stop!" But we still have Reggie and Niche.
Actually,
can you use your actions?
That was my first attack and my special.
Right.
So anyone I hit with that is knocked prone. And I have actually one more attack left.
Okay. They don't get a save for being knocked prone. They're just knocked prone.
Nope. If hit, the target is knocked prone.
So then they get hit and fall backwards, and the other one just kind of topples over, like pushing a mannequin over, as they make their save and are still stunned. So go ahead and make your next attack.
All right. And if they're prone, do I get advantage on that?
Yeah, of course. Well, they're stunned. Are you attacking the non-stunned one or the stunned one?
The one that woke up.
Okay, yeah, you still get advantage because they're prone, but...
All right, that one is actually only a 13 to hit, but I'm going to use the rest of my 3 points to bring that to a 16. See if that'll hit.
16. Okay. That just barely hits.
Whew.
So
All
go
right,
ahead
and then-
and roll your damage.
And so again, with those eyes glowing as he's like knocked prone, does like a drop kick with a heel straight to the nose, with a 9 damage.
Okay. And as you drop kick on the nose, you kind of lift your foot and look beside you, and they are motionless, still breathing, but seemingly unconscious. Niche or Reggie?
Reggie, I've seen what you can do. How would you like to do more of it?
I think now is a good time.
This will be uncomfortable at first. And Niche will hold back for a hot second as they're progressing, let Reggie get a bit in front of them. And Reggie will feel a sharp pierce of her fingers poking into his mid-back, right where Reggie's adrenal glands are. And he will feel this rush of adrenaline through their body. This is Niche using her 3rd ability, Exploit. Reggie, you get an extra action on this turn and on the next one from this adrenal rush.
Ow! And I'm gonna use my ultimate.
Okay. So are you rushing up like beside Io, or where are you moving?
Io's a little bit in front of us.
So the middle of the bridge is about 100 feet away from the entrance. Io moved up about 20 feet. Arch ran straight up, and Nemo and Niche are about 20 feet back.
Oh no.
I can make it.
Oh, this is uncomfortable.
Come on
Niche would
over.
have run to keep pace with Reggie.
Okay.
So she would be kind of right next to them.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Yes, I would. I would say, come on, and run up next to Io.
Okay.
And I will.
Go ahead and describe your ultimate. Arch and Nemo will both be affected by this, as well as they are unable to be within 5 feet of you.
Okay. So my light of the Solari. So these bright orange runes are gonna go up my cheek to my forehead, and I'm gonna start shimmering this brilliant red, orange, and yellow color. My face sort of turns into magma, and the wind's gonna start whipping around me in a circle, and as it does, it picks up some of the color off of my face and creates this big sphere of wind fire, and I'm gonna let out this really, really loud scream, and fire is gonna burst out 80 feet in every direction. And anybody who's not within 5 feet of me needs to make a dex save of 18.
So 3 of the guards automatically fail because they're stunned again with the Io Reggie ultimate combo. The last one rolls at disadvantage and definitely failed. Arch, what is your save?
Arch is pleading to Niche for some help, maybe, but I got a 16 on the roll.
Okay, so Arch fails. Nemo?
I rolled an 11 plus 7 is 18.
So you
Can
just
Niche
barely
give-
succeed.
2 summoner spells to Arch so that he hits that 18 DC.
Yes, I will allow that.
Thank you, Niche.
Just a note to everybody that the summoner or the champions are running quite low on summoner spells again, and you can also donate 5 subs to get a lovely tarot card reading from the wonderful Io that will appear on next week's episode. So far, only Mindy is getting to ask a question, but we are doing it all night. So give 5 subs. You know what? If somebody gives 5 subs to get an IO card reading, I'll give each of the champions a summoner spell to go along with it. So 5 subs gets you a card reading and a summoner spell to each of the champions. So go ahead and get those subs in, or donate those bits to be able to not only help them out, but have a fun little extra question answered by the enigmatic IO next week. Reggie, what is the damage on your ultimate?
It's 48 damage.
48 damage. So halved is 24. So Arch and Nemo, you both take 24 points of damage. And you see all 3 of these guards just burst into fire. The stunned ones unable to regain their movement, not able to put it out. Their bodies just burning husks. Before you take your second action due to Nisha's ability that gave you the adrenaline, I'm going to have you make a charisma saving throw, Reggie.
Oh, that's not great. That is a 4.
So as you release this power from inside of you, the fire claiming, you hear the screams from these individuals, the pain that Arch and Nemo are feeling, and your world goes black for a second. And when you blink your eyes and open them, you're still standing on the bridge, but it looks different. There are bodies strewn about, both enforcers and citizens alike. You're looking, you see a greenish vapor permeating the air on the bridge. Blotted fires and explosions. A cacophony of screams, yells, terror coming from all around you. Is there anything Reggie is doing right away?
Does Reggie see anybody he recognizes?
Make a perception check for me.
It's a 6.
So as you're looking around, tears are automatically starting to fill your eyes as you were taken back to this spot 12 years ago. The same feelings, the acrid smell of smoke and poison and burned flesh, the bodies strewn about all around you. And you're looking, and you see what appears to be a shadowy figure off in the distance, back towards the Zon side, further down from you. It appears to be an individual you might know, but you can't be certain. But you do hear the as the individual turns and walks away, dissipating into the smoke.
This wasn't how it was supposed to happen.
And all at once, in a snapback, you are brought back to standing on the bridge the way it is now with the individuals. Nish and Io, you would hear exactly what Reggie said and is saying as you continue.
Arch is. Oh, sorry, Reggie. Go ahead.
No, go.
I was just gonna say, Arch just like snaps back. That blue goes away, and he's like, "Now to get my hat. I just got this," and he's just kind of like checking it out to see if there's any major damage to the hat.
Are there any guards still alive, or no?
No.
Okay.
All the bodies on the bridge currently are burning. Now, Nemo, you would be the first to hear this, and one of the spotlights goes directly on the collective of Nish, Io, and Reggie, as the airships appear to be making their way over. And actually, one is within close enough proximity to take a shot at Reggie. Yeah, Reggie, because they just had a giant fireball erupt from them. So Nemo, you can wheel, and I'll let you use your magic shot for landing that ultimate ability on one of the airships if you would like, but one of them is going to get a shot off at Reggie. And I'm going to use 4 summoner spells, 4 of my summoner spells, to make it a dirty 20.
Gross. All right, so I have to make that Ooh, hey now.
So you'll take 11 points of piercing damage, Reggie. And then, Nemo, what's your shot?
So, in the bullet time, he doesn't reload. The bullet curves after going through the firestorm and aims right for the spotlight that is illuminating them for a dirty 20.
Okay. Which one are you aiming at? Because each airship you can see, as one of them is getting closer, is piloted by one individual, and then there is an individual standing on kind of like platforms on either side with rifles aimed down at you. So there appears to be 3.
I'm aiming for the pilot, 100%.
Sounds good. That'll hit for sure.
Cool.
And at the same time, oh my gosh, Glitter Bug Ray Ray giving another summoner spell to Arch. James giving me another 5.
Oh.
Thank you, James. Somebody's got to cheer for the summoner, right? And then Gabe James Games donating 5 subs to get themselves an IO card reading. Gabe, you can DM me either on Twitch or Twitter, L Street Gaming, your question for IO, or send it directly to Kim if you would like. And everybody gets another summoner spell because of that. So, so what is the damage on that, Nemo?
15.
15. So you see the bullet fire up, and you don't see right away if it hits because there's still some distance away, but then they kind of take back and the ship veers a little bit and then corrects as it appears it hit them and shook them, but they're still standing. Reggie, what would you like your second action to be from the niche ability?
Well, Arch and Nemo, even on a success, are on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Reggie's just gonna run forward towards Arch. I don't know if Reggie can get to Arch.
Yep, that's fine. We're not fully strictly following combat rules, so.
Okay. So Reggie would take off their coat and just kind of try and put the fire out on Arch.
Sure.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Reggie, I just got this hat.
Luckily, the coat and the hat are both made up of such exquisite material that they didn't really catch on fire that much. It was more Arch's undershirt and pants that caught on fire. So you kind of find yourself in that awkward situation where you're like trying to pat out the flames and then get to a certain area and like give a pat and then are like, oh, whoops, didn't mean to pat you there, friend. Or did he?
Arch kind of like, because the coat's a little bit long, it doesn't go all the way down to the knees, but just above. So he'll pick it up and kind of like show his butt. He's like, are my butt cheeks showing? Or do I...
No, I can't see a thing.
Okay, good. All
right. What is everybody else doing as these airships start descending on the bridge?
Does that green gas look like it's obscuring the way ahead, or has
You
it
didn't see any
dissipated?
green gas.
Oh, that was perfect. So
That was a
the way
flashback that Reggie had. All that you would have noticed is this arch. Reggie's ultimate ability would have gone off, and then they would have stared blankly, like catatonically, for a second, and then screamed out, "It wasn't supposed to happen like this," and then snapped back to reality.
Thank you. So the way ahead is clear.
With the exception of 5 smoldering corpses on the floor of the bridge.
All right, it's time to go. Pack up, move. And he starts to run.
I was following close behind.
Okay.
I will follow as well, but as I'm waiting for Nemo to kind of catch up, I will pull out my revolver and I'll aim up towards the light, and just kind of like, okay, how do you do? And just kind of like bang, bang, shoot a couple rounds towards the light. But
Go ahead and
not
roll
very
your
well.
attacks.
So I actually hit an 18 for one,
Okay.
and the other one was a natural one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Roll damage on the first attack for me
Got it.
as these 2 shots pop off, and then roll percentiles for me after, please.
Oh no.
Put your ones in the chat.
Yes, I got the one. So the hit is a total of 6. Just a little revolver.
Okay.
And
The light still shatters and goes out.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then percentiles?
percent, that one is gonna be a 19%.
19%. Roll damage on the second shot, please.
Of course, I critted on that. So 8 for that one.
So, Nemo, as you're running up, patting the flames out on yourself, which I will allow you to do as you're running up, you hear Arch say "How do you do this?" kind of looking at you, and then kind of looks away and aims the gun and fires one, and you hear the light shatter and then fires another shot, and you feel this sharp stinging pain in your shoulder as the bullet hits you in the shoulder, and you take the 8 piercing damage as you're running up.
I think Arch doesn't even see it, so he's just like, "Come on, let's go!" Like just waving the gun around.
How on fire is on fire?
On fire enough that you have to use a full action to put yourself out.
Cool. I am going to point at Io, Reggie, and Arch and yell at them to run, spurning my 3 tactical points to give them 20 more feet, and I am diving off the bridge into the water to put myself out and get the hell out of sight.
Okay. Make an acrobatics check for me.
Oh yeah.
Now, I will preface this with, you have been here long enough to know this is like probably a good 100 foot drop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're doing your best high dive circus act over the side of the bridge.
26.
26. Okay. You all watch as Nemo says this and then like runs up the side of the handrail on the bridge and does like a double front flip and then just disappears from view. If any of you rush over to the side, you basically just see this flaming ball streak towards the water. You are still going to take another 6 points of bludgeoning damage
Okay.
as you enter the water, and then I immediately, as you enter the toxic waters of the river that separates Zon and Piltover, I will need you to make a Constitution save for me.
I'm
Is
good
there-
at I'm good at those.
Are there literally any people around?
on the bridge at this time of night, no. There is the 3 airships that are headed towards you that all have 3 people apiece that are getting quite close, though.
Okay. Are any of them within 80 feet?
Yeah, the first one would be. The one that Nemo already shot the driver once.
If you'll allow me, as Niche is running forward, looking behind, trying to see who is following, and when she looks back and counts, they don't see Nemo. Instead, they catch just as he begins to jump off of the bridge, and in that moment where Nemo's beginning to fall and this airship comes just within range, Niche will open themselves up and be that conduit and try to transfer all of the energy she can from the pilot of this ship and then down into Nemo as he falls.
Okay. I'm going to get you both to make an initiative check for me.
Okay.
To see how this action unfolds, because if he dips below the water before you're able to extend, you won't have line of sight on him.
Ah.
So, Niche, what did you roll?
An 8.
Okay. Nemo?
14. I have a high bonus to initiative.
Oh wait, is there anything I can do about this? Okay, hold on.
I'll give you
I've
10
used-
seconds to figure
Oh wait,
to see if you can.
initiative is a dexterity saving throw or is a dexterity check.
Yeah.
Which I have advantage on, and that's a natural 20, baby.
Oh, whatever. Put your 20s in the chat. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Holy crap!
The dice just wanted to tease a little bit that you weren't going to be able to do it. So yeah, go ahead and explain how this happens, Sarah. Niche, sorry.
I'm shaking. I needed that extra 10 seconds to remember everything. All right. So Nemo begins to fall and Niche just begins to reach out to him with everything she has in her body to feel him. Nemo's energy is familiar and it's old. And they're reaching out towards the airship and they don't think it's going to come within range, but then it does. I need a DC 18 Constitution saving throw from the pilot.
That is a 7, even if I burn... Actually, if I burn all 7, they get an 18. So I'm going to burn all 7 of my ability points.
And then I will burn 1 to bring it down to a 17, making it a failure.
Oh.
Fine, be that way.
I think
All
I
right.
have to.
Okay, go for it.
And the pilot will take only 32 points of damage.
Only 32 points of damage.
Only.
So you can describe how the pilot of this airship with 2 other enforcers on it perishes while you transfer the life into Nemo.
I think they're piloting and their hands are clutched around the steering wheel and their body begins to seize and their muscles begin to contract and they're just gripping tighter and tighter and tighter on that steering wheel until there's no grip at all and they just slump. And we can see the stream of energy going from the ship into Niche and then down towards Nemo, who gains 32 points of health.
Holy crap.
And Niche will succeed her own Constitution saving throw with an 18.
Okay. I'm also going to get you to roll percentiles for me to
Yeah, let's
see
go.
as the pilot perishes which direction they pilot the ship.
70.
70. So as you see this energy tether go from the individual in the ship down into Nemo, the rest of you watch as You watch as one of the lead airship that was flying towards the bridge suddenly, like, what do they call it? Like bottle or does a sharp turn and smashes into one of the other ones that was coming up on its flank. I have to roll a whole pile of this. And you see both of them just burst into a giant explosion, the third one veering off down towards the west, trying to avoid this huge explosion that caught off in the sky. And you are able to continue running across the bridge and slip into the Zon side. However, Nemo, as you're falling in pain, on fire, jumping off this bridge and diving into the water, right before you crack the surface that feels like cement falling from this high, all of a sudden you take a deep breath and feel this vitality surge into you. And in the time that you've been working with Niche, you've seen her do this now a handful of times. Luckily, you've never been the recipient of it because it feels very strange, like this life force is coming back to you, which makes the fire, the pain of the fire, so much more intense. And then splash, and everything goes dark as you go into the putrid waters of the river between Zon and Piltover. What was the Constitution save you made?
17. And I will burn both my summoner spells to make it a 19 if I have to.
You are lucky because this DC was 18. So you will still take an additional 3 points of poison damage, but you are not poisoned. And after a second of, like, you basically you feel your tail touch the bottom of the river, the refuse and garbage and chemical outpour, and you can feel it stinging your eyes, stinging your face. Every part of your body that is exposed to this water is painful and searing as you rush to the top. What would Nemo like to do?
First, I'm just shaking, hitting my glasses to give myself more dark vision so I can see more.
Okay.
Burning a charge on those, and I am just using every ounce of strength, knowing just in the back of my head that was Niche and what we've gone through and the pollution and the chemicals reminding me of Ionia. I am just gritting my teeth and swimming straight for the shore of Zon, just getting angrier and angrier.
So as you feel yourself pull up, it's about another 100 feet. I'm going to need you to make one more Constitution saving throw for me as you're swimming through this mire and muck.
Sure. Whoop, come on. Okay, that one wasn't so good. That would be a 14.
A 14?
Yeah.
You're going to take an additional 4 points of poison damage, and you are now poisoned for the next hour or until somebody can... So as you pull up on the shore, kind of like that shipwrecked person on a desert island choking up this caustic water and dragging yourself onto the cement palisades of the banks of the river on the Zon side, and you look up and don't see anything because of the high handrails and the bridge, but know or hope that your friends are going to make it to the other side. It's at this point where you see above the bridge a large explosion as you're kind of lying on your back watching.
Assholes. Thanks, Niche. I know you got me.
I'm just gonna kind of slick the mohawk back and start making my way through the sewers and the back alleys to the bakery.
Okay.
To Jay's. Hoping that Niche will go that way.
As you kind of navigate through into the parts of Zon that you are more familiar with, the streets are still fairly quiet, but there is a little bit more activity than there was previously. You pass a new building that's coming up where the first three letters DEE are just being hung, and there's like a J on the floor outside of the building, and it looks like it's under construction, passing through that, going towards the black market. Some of the shops are open. You do see some enforcer presence, but it's not nearly as much as it was the previous night. And you are able to easily make your way to the bakery. Meanwhile, the rest of you, as you clear the bridge, you do see off across the other side several more spotlights starting to light up on the other side of the bridge above in the air. What is it the four of you are doing?
Running.
Nemo will be fine. Nemo will be fine. I've seen him. You know what? That's not even, it doesn't even crack maybe the top 5 craziest things I've seen him do. So he's fine. We just, he's fine. We just need to get out of here.
Do you all have a meeting spot?
I mean, the only place he would go is my shop. He would go back to JJ's. He would go back to the bakery, to the deli. He would go back. It's a terrible idea, but that's where he would go.
Well, then that's where we're going.
Yeah, they would think we're total idiots if we were to go back there, so that's the perfect place to go.
I hope.
Your conversation is interrupted as you hear these semi-automatic gunfires coming off from the west. Bullets not quite hitting you, but you hear some of the gunfire whiz by as you see that third ship that had made the first approach is starting to get to the other side of the bridges and is coming after you.
Let's try and find some cover, maybe like running close to the edge of a structure, and maybe like a straight.
So as all of you kind of start running and ducking into one of the areas, you catch it would be Io and Niche. You both catch out of the corners of your eyes on adjacent streets these green trails, and these individuals shoot past you. And as you kind of look back, you see 4 individuals on these like skateboard almost looking type contraptions, but they're flying through the air, and you see them kind of fly up and encircle this last airship, and you hear some screaming and stuff, and you see 3 bodies get tossed from the airship, and the airship start to go down. And then as you duck and kind of start making haste away, you see the individuals flip around and start heading back towards you.
That's good.
We have company, but is it good? Is it good?
I mean, I am not going to complain if all of those airships crash into each other or fall into the river.
Absolutely. Just keep on going.
Yeah, running is good. I didn't see anything. You saw? What'd you see?
Trouble, but the kind that might help us.
Okay.
So as we make our way onto the black market, where at the end of which is Nisha's shop, JJ's, we have started another hype train. Thank you so much, Evil Dead, for giving another summoner spell to Reggie. Thank you, Julian, for giving one to Io. Evil Dead giving another one to Nemo. And Deej giving one to Nemo as well. And we are at a level 1 hype train. Thank you so much. Don't forget that if you donate 5 subs, I will give a summoner spell to each of the champions, and you can get your name on a list to ask a question and get a tarot card reading from our lovely Io. So, as you kind of enter the street that JJ's is on, you notice that it's particularly vacant and quiet, even though later on in the night this street would be casual, like more casual, like not busy, but there would still be individuals making their way from bar to bar or trying to check out niches. And I'll get everybody to roll a perception check as you're moving down the street. Reggie, was there something you wanted to do?
Yeah, I was I was gonna use my Channel Falcon ability.
Okay.
You'll see the lined rune go down my nose, and my pupils will constrict, and my beard will just look a little bit like feathers just for a sec. And yeah, that'll increase my passive perception. I'm looking for Nemo, but also a little weirded out by the discrepancy of what's going on around us.
So as you start making your way down this center street to head towards JJ's, Reggie, you hear it first, like this, and you kind of start looking around and you see little flashes between the buildings and the streets of these, like this green element on the back of these like hoverboard type things. And as you kind of crest into this cross street, all of a sudden, all of you see as from behind you, someone shoots over your head and jumps and lands in the middle of the street, and their board kind of falling down, and they catch it and put it on their back. And it's an individual, probably about Arch's height, dark skin, very wiry build, wearing like a vest and with a bunch of contraptions on it, and these like kind of slightly more billowing parachute type pants with these shoes, and they have a white mask on that kind of looks like an owl. And they pull out this a long wrench type thing that kind of looks like a weapon. And it's at this time that you kind of are looking on your peripherals, Reggie, and you see there's probably you lose track and count at over 10 of these different hoverboard type things kind of flying, darting in and out between the buildings and above them and through the alleys. None of them coming into this cross street that you're on, but definitely in range and moving around. And the individual looks at all of you and without removing their mask. So, what are all of you doing here?
You should be asking the same thing to you.
I'm the one that helps this place. Who are you?
Well, my name is Io.
Io, eh?
And you?
They kind of step forward. I don't know if I can trust you yet. What are you doing running from Piltover with a bunch of enforcers chasing you? These are dangerous times, you know.
They are indeed. We're not trying to cause trouble. Trouble just comes to us, it seems.
Yeah, I know what that's like. Go ahead and make a persuasion check, Io, if you would, please.
That is a 22.
Okay. They kind of look regarding each of you for a moment and then point at Niche. Do you own that shop back there, JJ's?
Own is a funny word, but yes, it's where I work. Help people too,
Yeah,
when I can.
you've helped a few of my people. when we didn't have the resources to do so. And then looks at you, the mask kind of tilts in your direction, Arch. Yeah, I've seen you around too. You're a pretty big regular in this area. And are your fists up like that?
But yeah, just kind of like, but not like, like he's just kind of has them up, just like, yeah. I mean, okay, we're good. You're good,
pretty outnumbered, friend. I'd put those down if I were you.
Sure. I'm always happy to play along if you see me around here, but maybe we've played before. I don't recognize.
So
Thanks.
the individual kind of takes a couple more steps forward into the street light and lifts up the mask, and you see the white painted dark face, the giant like half mohawk of long dreadlocks, and kind of leans on the weapon in a more casual manner. My name's Echo. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Arch, care for a dice game? I mean, we're kind of in the middle of something, but I'm always happy to play.
Maybe you let her do the talking, and kind of points the wrench at Io.
Yeah.
Y'all got somewhere we can go? Is your shop good right now? We should probably get off the streets. I'm sure the enforcers are going to be sending out their patrols.
We got split up from a friend. I think he'll come here. We have to wait until he's here.
Waiting out in the streets probably not a smart thing.
Didn't you say he'd go back there? Back to the shop?
I think so. I think that's where he would go. I mean, we could maybe check the river if he's still there, but...
You hear a whistle, and from either side, two of these individuals on these hoverboards like screech up to this individual that identified themselves as Echo. What does he look like?
You cannot miss him. Small, black and white, a lemur.
Kind of whispers in one of their ears and then whispers in the next one, and they give a nod and they take off in back towards where you came from. Reggie, with your enhanced ability still, you can still count like up to 10 figures that are like flying around, and then he does like a long drawn whistle, and you see them kind of start to taper off, becoming less frequent. Let's go to your shop. If they find him, they'll bring him back for us. And as you go to your shop and go in, letting everybody in, Nemo, you are already in the shop waiting. Is there anything Nemo does when the door opens and these individuals
The moment the
start
door
walking in?
opens, just like coughing and just like, all right, just stop. Oh, hi guys.
It's so good to see you. And
How are you doing?
Niche will rush forward and throw their arms around him.
Hey, remember that time running across with the gas and everything? It was probably a 6 out of 10. Thank you. Crap, thank you.
Yeah, Niche, as you embrace Nemo, I'm going to need you to make a Constitution save for me.
Oh no.
7?
By the way, the river sucks.
You're going to take 4 points of poison damage as you inhale the toxic fumes that are emanating off of Nemo's still damp fur.
That was a terrible idea.
I was on fire. By the way, where is he? With Archibald?
What did I do?
You shot me. I gotta teach you how to take a better shot.
What? I
Yeah,
didn't. Oh.
Ow. No, I'm
Sorry.
okay. I'm okay. I was just on fire. And yeah, don't go swimming in the river. Oh, wow.
You went into that water?
I was on fire.
You were on...
Yeah, it's the older guy. He set everything on fire after I shot a bunch of shot an enforcer.
That explosion
And,
was you?
Well, it was him.
No, pointing at Reggie. Echo kind of spins and is like,
Well, I may have set a few things on fire.
You practice magic?
I do. What of it?
What's your name, old man?
My name is Reginald Siltari.
Huh. Never heard of you. And kind of like goes and like finds like a couch that is in this reception type room and like just flops down and puts their feet up on a coffee table. And so you guys were in Piltover. That's a dangerous place to be these days. What with the attack that happened and everything. What are you doing coming back over here if you got out?
Io is going to look into his thoughts a little bit.
Okay. I believe that is your... Oh no, this is just one of your regular abilities.
That
It's
is
not-
my regular of it.
What do I have to roll for the save?
It is a DC 16 charisma.
Okay. While I roll this, Dr. Dogballs, a real doctor, thank you so much for giving +1 to all of the players on their summoner spells. I've thrown those on there. And James, the only person that seems to be cheering for the summoner, which is me, with another 5. So thank you so much. And I'm going to use 3 of those 5 for Echo to make the save. I brought it up to an 18, just in case you wanted to try and be sneaky and use another summoner spell.
I did. I did want to do that. And I will use all that I have.
You're going to use all 5?
No, I'm going to bring it up to an 18. So
Okay. So 2. Okay. So as you kind of delve into Echo's mind, the surface thoughts, they're very, very collected, cool, and calm. This individual doesn't fear you at all, is more intrigued by your presence here, calmed a little bit by the fact that Niche has actually saved a couple of their people's lives. You can hear like names rolling through his head. And then he says, you hear just one clear surface thought. I wonder if that old man is the one Heimer talked about. I wonder if they can help us. And that's all you gather from the surface thoughts. So, what are you all doing here? I mean, I get why she's here. She kind of owns this place and she's been helping out everybody, but the 4 of you, what's the deal and why are you all together? Running out of Piltover with airships following you.
I look after her. I'm gonna go take a shower. Excuse me.
really, it was just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. I just come here to get help with this, and I like kind of show the burn marks that I have from Reggie's burns. It seems to keep happening, and she can help with it.
I was just walking down the street. That's how I met these people, and that's why I'm here.
You were just walking down the street.
Yes.
That's the funny thing about luck. Sometimes you get lucky. Like we got lucky with him walking down the street, right? And if not for him showing up, we might not be standing here now.
So why are you back in the Undercity, bringing trouble to my doorstep? You know there's a war starting, right?
I mean, don't mean to be insulting, but it sounds like there's already trouble in your house. And we weren't bringing it. In fact, we're kind of coming for the trouble that's already here.
What do you mean?
Niche? Do I? Maybe.
He kind of kicks his feet up or takes his feet off and like pounds them on the floor loudly and leans over and looks directly at Io. You seem to be the one that makes the most sense out of all of them. What's going on here?
Again, it all sort of happened on accident, really. But we have been chased. We don't particularly know why, but we are being chased. We don't understand it very well.
Do you have anything to do with the big fight that happened just up the block 2 nights ago?
Maybe.
Roll a deception check, I guess, Io. If you want to play coy like this against Echo.
Arch is in the background, just like grabbing his hat. Like,
What did you get, Io?
That's a 19.
19. Only rolled a 17. Okay. So, y'all still don't seem to be answering the question. Why did you come back if you got out?
We've been given the opportunity to provide clarity to what's going on, but in order to do that, we need to be on this side of the river.
Explain.
Everything went to shit because the council got attacked.
Yeah. I
And
know
the
who did it,
enforcers
too.
have been attacking people who they think have the ability to hit the council.
Yeah, they've scooped up probably half my crew already. Worst part is, we all know who did it. Nobody will listen to any of my guys.
Who do you think did it?
just as a note, I don't know if we're supposed to say the name. I've heard if you say the name like 3 times, they show up.
Looking at Io and Niche collectively now, maybe the two of them don't talk anymore. And kind of leans in, scooting a little bit closer to the two of you. You ever hear the name Jinx?
Yes, very well. From our sources, apparently she was the one to cause this.
Your sources? Who are your sources?
On the other side of the river. We've been busy.
Yeah, it seems like it. But your sources? Who's your source?
I don't know him well. I don't
And I'd
even think I remember his name. Do you?
I'd rather not know him at all. And honestly, I wouldn't want to share. But we're after the same thing.
Yeah. I've been able to track down where Jinx is, but she's lost. She used to be a sweet girl, you know. Anyway, I've already lost half a dozen people trying to get to her to save my friends. Maybe you can succeed where I've failed. If I take you to where her hideout is, can you take care of her?
I really hope we can. We're here to help.
Can you do it without killing her? She just...
I'd like to try.
Look, I'll be honest with you. One of the people that she's got, it's her sister. She's a good friend of mine. She still thinks powder's in there somewhere. I don't believe it, but if you kill her, you're gonna have more enemies than friends. So if I take you there, you gotta promise not to kill her. Get her taken down, do whatever. She deserves to face the council, or what I hear is left of them anyway. And she deserves to be brought to justice, but there's been enough death. It's been more than enough death the last few weeks. We were hoping to barter some type of peace using what Jinx has and end the war. But then I heard Silco got killed and Jinx lost it and is trying to run it on her own now. And even though she's gone underground, she's got people that are loyal or scared shitless of her coming out and picking off enforcers. There's been fights and murders and all sorts of shit running all throughout the sewers. It needs to stop. We need to put an end to it. Think you can help us? Maybe help yourselves?
I don't like making promises, but I do want to help.
Make a persuasion check at advantage for me.
And Niche remains quiet, watching the exchange carefully and just nodding along with Io, trying to fall into taking her lead, recognizing that this is not where they kind of know what they're doing.
That's a 24.
All right. Echo kind of stands up and I can get you safe passage there. We'll stop by our camp. Hang out. You can rest a little bit and then I'll take you there. A couple of you look a little banged up. Kind of motions towards the back room where you hear the shower going where Nemo is. He touched the gray. Or he went swimming in the river, didn't he? He's gonna need at least a little bit. Let's, Here. When you're ready, go on top of this building and pop this, and pulls out from one of their bags, tosses this like cylindrical, almost kaleidoscope looking thing to you, Io. Just twist it. The smoke will come out, and then you better be quick. You're gonna need to follow us. I'm gonna go round up my crew and make sure we can get safe passage over there.
Echo. I promise that we will make the deaths that have happened worth it.
Nothing makes death worth it, Io. He stands up and kind of walks past all of you, putting the mask back on, and just looks back. Don't take too long. Who knows when they'll send another force out to get up anybody else they've missed. And pushes through the door, leaving you all to your devices. What is it everybody would like to do now?
Got a chill after he left. I mean, that was intense. I didn't even know what to say. I was just like, words were just blabbering out of my mouth. Ooh.
Aren't words always blabbering out your mouth?
Well, okay, touche. That's a good point. I can't stop though. It just keeps going, and then doing it again.
And then you get yourself into trouble.
Yeah.
All right. Number one. Hey, nice mo. Hey, where'd he go?
He's gone. He'll be back.
Oh, great. I wanted to tell him it's a nice mohawk. You should actually put it up. Right. Don't go swimming. That was a really stupid idea. So how do we find this person? How do we kill her? And how do we get the people back?
We actually just made a bit of a deal about that. As soon as we're all ready, we can go up on the roof and, well, I will make it happen.
As soon as we're ready. So that means we get a nap? I could really use some rest right now.
I think Echo intended for us to go to his hideout. Probably safer than this place right now.
Okay. It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, so I don't know. Grab something to eat if you got. Avoid. So on second thought, Niche, you're right. Don't go for the box and the muffins in the back, because damn.
And 20 years old. Please do not eat it.
Look,
Well,
I
now
thought
I'm
it was,
interested.
if you soak them enough, maybe they'll. But yeah, okay. So Niche, I'm sorry, but I think this place is burnt. Thank you for what you did and knowing I'd be here, but I don't think we're going to be here a lot longer.
This place, the first time I left this place, it was more than 20 years ago. I was a kid. In fact, I don't remember it because I wasn't exactly making memories back then. But then I came back, and it was here. Different, had been through some changes, but it was still here. I have hope. Maybe it's foolish, but I have hope that if we leave for a while, no matter how long that is, it'll still be here when we come back.
Yeah, well, I hope you're right. And Reg will get his house back, and we'll get you this place back. But because everybody needs a home, so yeah. But right now, I don't think it's safe for any of us to be here. So grab whatever you can, and let's go find that hoverboard guy. But yeah. No, we'll be back when we're done, because everybody deserves a home. Okay? You guys get ready. I'm gonna go to the roof and make sure it's safe.
As
Grabs
Nemo,
gear.
yeah, as Nemo grabs their stuff and heads to the top, is there anything anybody else is doing right away?
See, Arch just kind of walks over next to Niche and places a hand on their shoulder and just says, you know, a house, it's just usually made up of wood and stone, glass, whatever. It's fine lying around. But truly, and he kind of like looks over at Nemo as he exits to go up to the roof. But truly, only love can really make a home a home.
Thank you. I mean, you're right. It's hard to walk away from a space and know that that's true, but You're right, it is. I'm not letting anything happen to him. He is home for me in so many ways.
Well,
So, Reggie. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
But I was just gonna say, Niche, speaking from experience, if you're leaving your home behind, uh, make sure you grab anything that's important to you. You have the opportunity.
You know what? Good point. And hey, perhaps if we scare you a little bit less, you'll tell us what thing you wish you had grabbed from your home.
I like that.
You don't have to say so now. But I'm curious.
Well, I'm ready to go to the roof. And, and Reggie will turn and start heading that way.
Arch will speed up to catch next to Reggie and follow him up, and just kind of whisper over your ear as we go up, I hope this doesn't mean you're trying to plan to burn this house down. I mean, we've had enough fire. Maybe leave it alone.
The plan is generally not to set anything on fire. Honestly, the last couple of days have been quite an anomaly for me. That's not who I am.
Okay, well, good to know. I'm glad that this is the rare percentage of what you do, because so far it's been the highest percentage of what I've seen you do, but that's all right. Well,
normally the fire burns within. I don't usually let it out.
I hear people say it's good to let things out so it doesn't build up and blow up in your face. Okay.
But do you want me to let the fire out or not? I'm confused now.
Oh, I mean, in a healthy way, right? Not in a burn me way. Look, okay, well, I have to get this off my chest because it's been building up inside of me. I struggled to get this Mary Nix jacket, and I just got this Julian hat. So please, and look at, and he takes off the hat and he's like, this hair did not just happen, okay? I had to really work at it, and I prefer, put the hat back on, to keep from being singed all over the place.
You, when you're looking at him as he takes his hat off, Reggie, you notice that the sides and partially the back where the hat didn't cover are all singed and burnt up.
Oh, Arch. I'm very sorry.
I know.
But stay close to me and you'll be fine.
Okay, all right. Well, shall we?
Shall.
As Arch and Reggie make their way up to the roof following Nemo, Io, and Niche, is there anything the two of you are doing?
I need just a moment. And Niche will take a second, close their eyes, and take a breath in this space downstairs before heading upstairs, where we have a spiraling staircase with a bunch of creaky steps. You could go up another small flight directly to the roof, or if you turn, there's a couple of rooms, what would have been offices at one point, what would have been storage rooms at one point, and Niche pushes open the door to one, where we see a bunch of bedding on the ground and a pillow, and we see a kind of stack of bits and bobs of copper and gears and other salvage that she's picked up. And we see a small table that has something that she's been building. It almost looks like the beginning of articulated fingers and a bit of a palm, and there's very fine tools on the table, and Niche leaves all of that behind. She walks past it to go a little bit further into this tiny room where there are shelves and a small window, and lining those shelves are plants. So many plants, unique and from all over the place, and some are thriving, some are not, but it's strange to see so much green, especially here in a place like Zon. And Niche spends a moment running her fingers across the leaves of some of the glossier plants and taking a moment to commiserate with some of the ones that are a little bit brown and a little bit yellow at their tips, until she gets to one, this stunning, beautiful flower with pink petals and a bright blue center. And she just cups it in her hand and then will pinch it off its stem. And then she'll just kind of fold her hand over that flower very gently, kind of putting it in her fist, and then we'll put it very safely in that fanny pack before leaving and closing the door behind her.
Io, did you try and follow Niche, or did you just go up to the roof with Reggie and Arch?
Io would have been interested enough to follow.
So as you turn around, go ahead and make a stealth check for me really quick, Io. Niche, you can make a perception check.
2.
Okay.
That was a natural 19, so
Okay.
20.
So Niche seems to encapsulate it in what they are doing to notice you. As you're peeking around the door, you dip back really quickly as they turn around. Are you just going to creep away, or are you going to wait for them? What is Io doing?
Io's just watching, almost over their shoulder, just creeping over, just watching what Niche is doing.
Oh, and I think, when Niche turns around, just putting that flower inside of their fanny pack, is this when they would just like see Io right over their shoulder?
Yes.
Oh, Io, I didn't. Gosh, you know what, it's. Oh, all right. I thought Nemo gave me a scare earlier, but all right. I guess. Gosh, I've known you for a while, but I guess you've never been in here before.
No, it's beautiful. I haven't seen this much green.
I've been working on it for a while. You might actually recognize a couple of these. And Niche will motion to a couple specific plants, and they are plants from Ionia.
Io, make a nature check for me. And while we do that, thank you so much, Yahoo2099, for giving another summoner spell to Arch. Keep in mind that you can still donate 5 subs to get an Io tarot card reading and give all of the champions a summoner spell before our stream ends tonight. Io, what was your nature check?
That was an 11.
An 11. You recognize a couple of the plants. Definitely fauna that you are used to and grew up around. A few seem maybe like they're not from the same part of Ionia as you're from, but you do recognize a few of them, yes.
Oh, I do. Yes. Yes, they do remind me of home.
That's why I've been growing them. Some have done better than others, but I'm glad that Reginald gave me the advice to come and take something, to make sure I didn't leave something behind that I would regret.
You know, I have a way that I could help you dry some of the plants so they could be preserved.
And Niche will actually very quickly open up that fanny pack and grab that flower, a little crushed, but still doing okay, and offer it to Io. And it's absolutely stunning and very iconic throughout the entire continent of Ionia. This one, this is what I want to save.
It is a large lotus blossom.
Yes, I do need some salt, but I can help you preserve it. A salt in a jar.
All right. As soon as we're somewhere where we can get that, it means a lot.
Keep it safe until then, though. It's beautiful.
Thanks. My mother's favorite. Let's get to the roof.
Mm.
And as the last two of your companions join the rest of you on the roof, Io pulling out the kaleidoscope type mechanism that Echo gave to her and popping it, this voluminous blue smoke starts to rise from it. And that is where we are going to end our match tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into this episode of Become Legend. Thank you so much to my amazing cast. Archibald, played by the wonderful Friggins. Reginald, commanded and burned by the wonderful Kajere. The always seductive and persuasive Io, played by Kim Grimoire, because you have to say it like Deej. Kim Grim. The unbelievably talented Niche, played by Sarah L. Kinney, and the always interesting to watch what happens Nemo, piloted by the wonderful Trevor Valley. Please don't forget that tomorrow Deej will be doing another solo stream here on the Free Forge. I do believe he is playing Overwatch 2 some more, doing some maybe other stuff. I'm not 100% sure. I apologize if I got that wrong. I probably should have asked, but I'm not that smart. And then on Friday, the continuation of our wonderful honor roll, the sister show to us and Stay Alive, Art with Heart, on Sunday, piloted by Mindy, the wonderful Miss Mindy Kins, and on Monday, another Deej solo stream, which you should also, Monday happens to be the day that the Patreon releases go out. So if you need some wonderfully home-brewed and expertly crafted material for your D&D 5e games, please make sure you sign up for the Patreon and make sure you check out all the wonderful things that the Forge is happening. GM apps are closed. Deej did talk about them a little bit on his stream on Monday, and I'm sure he'll talk some more about any volume of things tomorrow on his stream. So make sure you're checking that out and joining the Free Forge Discord and coming to hang out with all of us. Our lovely cast and myself always like to pop in after our decompression and check out the Become Legend room, where we can chat with all of you about tonight's session, and we just have a lot of fun. So make sure you're hanging out with all of us, and until our next match, we'll see you then.